Call the meeting to order. It's 11:03, and we'll just do introductions really quick. I'm Lydia Vivante.
Jane Shaw.
Lonnie Briggs.
Carol Maganoff from the Energy Committee.
Carrie Purcell, Mass DEP, Barnstable County.
Chris Wisniewski.
Jed Foley.
Oh, great. And Lonnie's doing the minutes today, so that's great. Thanks, everybody. This is unusual. We usually meet the first Tuesday in December, but this one, it's the second Tuesday. Are there any announcements? I have a couple announcements. There's boomerang bags coming up this Friday here, at Friday the 13th from 2 to 5.
I'll be getting over the election in Britain now.
Oh. And then there's a call for volunteers for the Fix-It Clinic. Gabrielle has produced the flyer. It's out in the world now, so if there are extra coaches and stuff.
Yeah, so far I only have two
What
responses
do the
for
volunteers
coaches,
need
but
to be capable of doing?
really just, I mean, you'd be
Guiding people
surprised.
to the right
I'm
thing.
sure you have some skills, I
Well,
mean,
not on the Fix-It department, I don't.
you'd be surprised what people bring that, really just to have
I can be
people
there,
here.
let's put it that way.
Okay.
I can be there, yes.
What's the date of that?
January 11th from 2 to 5.
That's a Saturday.
Yeah. Is it a Saturday?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the flyer. I'll pass it around. They'll repair things like sewing machines. Do you think your father will be coming again?
No.
He
He had
was
a
great
stroke a
last-
few months
Oh,
ago.
sorry.
He's fine, but he's not.
Okay. Yeah, he did a great job with repairing lamps.
Ah, wonderful.
So we'll look. That's always an item a lot of people bring in. Good. This is not really an announcement, but this is my aluminum foil ball, which I thought you might get a kick out of. It's about 4 months old, I think.
It's a good toy for a cat or
Yeah.
a dog, a smaller one.
And so at that size, that's perfectly acceptable in the.
As far as I know, I've
Is it?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I put one in that was about this big.
We
Once
just
they get
don't want to be too small so they fall through.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm just adding to it over time, and then at a certain point I'll recycle it. So we'll go to number 1, Shellfish Advisory Board seeking alternatives to plastic aquaculture equipment. I went to the meeting last night, and it was taped, so you can see it on the local public access channel. And they put out a call for suggestions of ways, alternatives to plastic aquaculture equipment. And they got a great response all up and down the eastern seaboard.
Oh, good.
So there's people contacting them about bioplastics, but also some other materials. And they're wondering what's the next step, basically.
I was a sea clamor for like 10 years, and we used to get burlap bags from the coffee importers.
Oh.
They're already used. And they wouldn't be good for people storing on the grant because they dissolve too fast. But, burlap's great for taking
Yeah.
stuff to market.
Right. I wonder if
I mean, it
they,
would be interesting just to go back and see what fishermen used a century ago. You know,
Yeah.
must have been quite efficient, whatever they used.
right,
Yeah.
they used a lot of, netting was all made from hemp or natural
Yeah,
fibers
yeah,
of some kind. And I don't know, the grow bags are pretty specialized. That equipment, I don't know if that fails a lot. I think the things that are becoming a real problem are the cable ties that are just thousands and thousands of them in the
I
water.
wonder if it
and
would be
mud.
good to have a fisherman come to the meeting sometimes. I was thinking of Brad Kaplan.
Yeah, you could invite them to come. This did go out to the Shellfish Advisory
Yeah.
Board, this meeting.
So were there all the fishermen there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there were a few in the
yeah.
audience, and then a number of the people on the board
Yeah.
are shellfishermen.
Because there are fishermen and fishermen, aren't there? I mean, Brad's a very
Yeah,
enlightened
Brad's
guy.
a pretty environmentally conscious guy
Yeah.
as opposed to some of them.
The hemp idea is, to me, it just sounds great because it's what they used to use, and
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
crop that you can grow now that was illegal before.
Yes, yes.
And if they could make grow bags out of that, that would be a real industry that could grow from doing that, get the plastic out of the water. So we'll just kind of follow what they're, what they're doing and see if, I know that the Center for Coastal Studies is helping, and I'm sure that SPAT would help, and anyway, see where they go with it.
So is there a list somewhere of materials they're trying to replace? Grow bags,
Yeah.
zip ties? But is there can you go somewhere and see a list of stuff they're trying to
I
replace?
think they're going to develop that and the dimensions and specifications that, of the objects they'd like to replace.
Okay.
But that would be a good thing, just to kind of inventory what they're using, why they like it, why they don't like it,
Right.
and then see what's out there already that could work. I know that there are certain kinds of clips and things that might work instead of a zip tie, but it has to withstand the elements, has to work in the cold. If it freezes, there's water and ice all the time there. And
By the way, at the meeting, was anybody there from the new Provincetown Independent?
no, there wasn't covered by the Independent.
Shame, actually.
Yeah.
Because they could have done a big.
Well, they still can.
They
yeah,
still
but
can,
They
yeah.
meet every month. Actually, I think they might even meet twice a month. I can't remember now, but they meet regularly, so
Yeah.
the Independent could cover it, or any other paper.
I mean, wasn't it Ed Miller's wife who did that great piece on our recycling and had that great photograph of
Yeah,
Mike?
Teresa Parker did that article. Right.
And you guys saw that I nominated Mike for the Recycle Smart Partner.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
I was with a
So he
friend.
was featured, or Wellfleet
Oh,
was
good.
featured.
I was with a friend who was going to the dump, and we were just going somewhere together, and her battery went. And she got out of the car, and there was a real old codger said, "Oh, I've got cables, I can do that." And he was kind of staggering around. And my heart lit up because I saw Mike walking from the little cabin because he had it done. My friend said, does every dump have one of these guys? It was so wonderful. Yeah.
So number 2 is plastic bottle ban and NIPS water bottle resolution. Bethia couldn't be here today, but she is working on the Cape-wide plastic bottle ban with sustainable practices. So that's something that she's recommending we take to town meeting in the spring. And I think the best way to start is to research current articles. There's, I think the number of towns on Martha's Vineyard got this done just last spring. So we could get their articles and at our next meeting, read them, see what we think, see if we want to bring it to town meeting in the spring. I think it includes not just water bottles, but perhaps all plastic bottles of a certain size, or we'll see. And the NIPS and water bottle resolution, there isn't any word on that. I think the best thing to do is maybe I'll contact Julian Sears' office or Representative Sarah Peak's office to see where that is in the scheme of things at the State House, if it's going to be coming to a vote or if it's in a committee or what.
I'm finding it increasingly difficult to buy olive oil in glass bottles anymore. Have you found this?
No, I find
Have
it.
you? Have you? Okay.
At Stop and Shop they have them, and
Do they? Well, the last time I went to Stop and Shop, all I could find was plastic.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Up
can
in Beatown.
recommend a couple brands to you later if you
Okay,
want.
good.
Then packing peanuts exchange. Beth also asked that this be on the agenda. I guess a number of people maybe at the swap shop or around would like to have a packing peanut exchange program going.
I've heard that the Quick Pack in Eastham will take them.
Right, that's a really good thing to, if you have extras, to get them, to him. That's great.
I'm
yeah,
not
they're-
sure what you mean by packing peanuts. Just...
The foam packing peanuts, the
oh, right.
styrofoam.
Oh, God, sorry. I was thinking of real nuts.
And, yeah, no, real nuts would be good. I guess some other towns have bins that you can put them in and you can give and take. But mention that to Mike Cicali, and he thought that could be a real hazard if they get loose.
Yes.
And then we also have a problem with contamination, that people will start throwing other stuff in there that they shouldn't,
Yeah.
thereby contaminating everything. And so he really encourages people to use the Wellfit Community Space page. If you have packing peanuts you want to share with others, let them know. Put up a bulletin board sign at the swap shop, just do it that way rather than have a site where you're going to be packing, keeping the peanuts.
There used to be, years ago, upstairs at the post office, Audrey had a huge hopper.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's still there, but
Upstairs at the Wellfleet Post Office?
yeah, because Jerry owns the post office. They would use it for packing their art and from the galleries. And they had a big hopper full of peanuts.
Huh.
Interesting.
Would you be willing to ask if that's available to people?
Yeah,
or if they want drop-offs
I
or
can
anything?
try and track that down. If that's,
I'm just curious about that. It could be another option for people if they're in need of those peanuts. I heard one guy who is kind of expert in old glass, and he likes to use newspaper. He says it doesn't shift in the packaging. So he crunches up newspaper when he sends something. But everyone, And then report on the spaghetti supper. That was a zero waste event with washable tableware. We had, of course, community cutlery.
Yeah.
And there was food waste and paper plate composting. And Lonnie was the recipient of a good deal of that. All the paper plates, I think. And how did that work out, Lonnie?
Worked out pretty well in our compost pile until somebody came along and dug them all up. And
Some bird, you mean?
some,
the raccoons they shred them for you.
So these are plates with food waste on them, you mean?
oh yeah, they
Yeah,
smelled
yeah,
good.
Yeah. Right.
And the chickens ate, I don't know, I guess 2 buckets worth of spaghetti cookies. And
Good.
they liked it. And after a while, though, they just kind of looked at it.
Where's the salmon?
Oh, that's funny. Well, thank you very much for volunteering, you and your husband Bill, and also for taking on the food waste and the plates. There was the option of chipping the paper plates. Dave DeWitt of Truro had offered that to put them through his wood chipper, so that would be something neat to see one day. Anyone have a wood chipper? Jed? No.
So these plates were really pure paper, they weren't plasticized plates?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was something like 250, 300 dinners. A lot.
That's very good. I don't know if this is the time to raise it, but I mean, this is a sort of plastic-free event. I think if we could persuade the people who do that State of the Harbour, which is a terrific meeting, if they could go plastic-free, that would be wonderful.
We can,
It always embarrasses me to be using their plastic when I go. Keep looking around to see if you're there to watch.
we can say, I'm sure they're beginning to plan their 2020
Yeah.
meeting, so we could.
Yeah.
Do you want to get in touch with them? I think it's
I think I know enough people, yes. who are involved.
Abigail Franklin.
Well, I'm volunteering at Coastal Studies with Cynthia Franklin, so I can mention it to her. I won't see it till January, but I could do it then.
All right, that sounds good.
Because it's
So-
an October event, isn't it?
Yeah, November, October, I
Yeah.
think. But that would be good. So we can put that on a future concern so it reminds us to get in touch with them. We can offer them the spoons for the chowder and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right. So outreach programs 2020, January 11th, Fix a Clinic. Jed's got that in hand. And I'm just curious, have the sewing machine people replied, like Eric Dorn?
No, but I'll call her.
Okay. And the jewelry person, that was something was missing from last year.
Right.
I think we can get this year.
You do think you know someone?
Well, it went out to her, to Lisa
Okay.
Monahan.
Okay, good.
Okay. We can see,
Okay, so I got to run today, but I'll get in touch with Gabrielle and see
Okay.
if it's gotten to her.
great. Carry in, carry up update. I did speak with the DPW person in Dennis, And he said that the beaches were real small beaches that they
Okay.
did this at. And that it was the beach, I don't know if it was the beach department or it sounded like it was a volunteer group that got it going there. And I've yet to speak with them about it, but maybe they could be invited to a meeting or get some, news about how it went.
Right.
This Friday, I'm going to a recycling meeting where there'll be a lot of select board members from across the Cape, and maybe that'll come up, I don't know.
We never actually considered doing one beach, did we? Or did we?
It was voluntary at all the beaches.
I see,
There were
I
signs
see.
up everywhere,
Right.
but it's a voluntary program, so there was never a time when we actually pulled the garbage cans
Right.
entirely from the
Right.
beach, which
Right.
is basically what carry and carry out is.
Yeah, we'd need lots of people on hand, wouldn't it?
Yeah, in the summer, that's
But I'm
challenging.
thinking Mayor is a very confined space, isn't it? Mayor Beach.
Yeah, it's easily accessible. I think
Yeah.
the DPW goes by there and they can get there pretty easily. It might be a good thing there,
Yeah. It's
or one of the ponds, or that's the beach department's really the person we have
Yeah,
to convince,
yeah.
to try it again. And I think if other
that
towns.
Suzanne?
Suzanne Grout Thomas. And is there any more thoughts on that? Carry and carry out. So Instagram, social media, Chris, you've been posting some more things.
I've been trying to do it roughly once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite, but I'll post something about the boomerang bags at the end of this week, either Thursday or Friday. Wait,
Okay.
when is it? Is it Friday?
It's
or-
Friday.
It's
yeah.
Friday, so
I can
Thursday
get
I'll
this to
post
you
it.
if you want.
Yeah, I have
You have
a
it.
thing that I can
Okay.
put up. I just posted the first of the tips for recycling
Oh, good.
yesterday, and I had Mike approve all of them just to make sure that they're okay. But again, if anyone has any ideas for things that I should be putting up there, I'm open to suggestions.
Will you put up the call for volunteers for the Fix-It coaches?
Sure.
That would be good.
And I set up a page for Facebook for the recycling committee. I haven't posted anything there yet, but
Yeah.
actually that would be a good thing to
Uh-huh.
post there.
And Wellfleet Community Space, I think, is read by a lot of people.
Right, well, since I set up that page, that will go,
Hello.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so I can definitely do that.
great.
I was wondering, how do we feel about endorsing either products or vendors on the Instagram page?
I don't think it's a good idea. I think you run into problems like that. You have favorites in brands and things like that.
I was just thinking about Green Road Refill.
Yeah, is that the company that's a roving refill van? Yeah, yep. There is something in
But
the,
it would be on the basis of their green credentials, right? I mean, so
yeah. Well, couldn't you like it or just show that it's already on Facebook? I imagine. You
Well,
could.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we could, but that's not getting the word out to other people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel comfortable really advertising for companies
Okay.
for profits.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a nonprofit, it's different. But I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that. I think there is a policy on this in the town, so I
Yeah.
checked that out
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
could certainly, as an individual,
Oh,
try
yeah.
and push them in the Wellfleet Community Space page, not from.
Yeah,
Right.
using your own
Right,
account.
right. Yeah, that's true.
That's probably the best way to
That's
do
true.
it.
I just ordered some bamboo toothbrushes today.
I got some for Christmas last year.
This is my Christmas green. Everybody's going to get a plant.
Jane bought some of the recycle cards. That's
Yes.
the contribution she made to the recycling committee. Thank you.
Yeah, it's welcome.
I'm giving everyone bar shampoo for Christmas.
Which shampoo?
Bar shampoo.
All right. Yes. Good.
Plastics and producer responsibility letter writing, that's an ongoing thing. I wrote to Trader Joe's, or called them, just to see what was going on. They referred me to the website, And they talked about all the things that they have replaced. I almost brought it today. They have a meat tray, which is now PET #1 plastic, that they're not using this foam
Styro.
trays anymore at all. And this is a clear plastic, which is the highly recyclable kind. So they're using that exclusively for all their meat products. They said that those English cucumbers that are kind of thin-skinned?
Which
They
are
said
covered
those-
with plastic, aren't
Yeah, they say that they rot really quickly without the plastic, and so
Actually, they rot in the plastic.
they rot in the plastic.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I found.
yeah. It's one of those
It's like putting plastic on bananas. How on earth can
I
that
know.
be helpful?
crazy. But I asked if they could have someone come to the meeting here, and they referred me to their customer relations department. So we'll see. And then Beth phoned them and talked to them about their plastic bottles and all that. So they are making some progress.
So this is a local Trader Joe's, presumably. I mean, is it, or is it a Trader Joe wide thing?
It's nationwide.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
well,
the
that's
program.
good.
But I spoke to someone at the Hyannis one, and then
Right.
they put me through, gave me a number for customer relations, which is, who knows, it could be in Texas or.
Right.
But that might be fun to kind of follow that a little bit. And they do, of course, offer boxes there for your shopping. Like Friends does that too. And some of the big box stores, instead of, well, they have the bags at checkout, but they also have boxes that you
Just
can.
used.
Yeah.
Used, big cupboard, yeah.
Right.
That's good.
It's boxes that the stuff came in, like the wine boxes
Yes,
for the
yes.
lunch, so you just reuse those. It saves them time in breaking them down.
Right.
So, Zero Waste Public Service Announcement Update, that's going really well. It will be ready in a few weeks or, sometimes in the next month. And it's changed slightly. The theme now is 50 tips for a zero waste life, like that. And it's I saw some images last week, and it's really great. So I think you'll be pleased when that's out.
Good.
Refill Wellfleet water stations. That's really on hold. Christine did get in touch with Mark Vincent, who's considering a second or a different location at the town hall. The problem there was they had to dig through or create another ramp to get at the right level for the water station, so it would be accessible by wheelchair. And that would cost something like $3,000 was the estimate for that. So I think they're looking at another location,
All right.
a place that maybe they could just easily get into a pipe rather than having to go through cement first.
What about that sort of foyer as you go into town hall?
That has one already.
It has already.
Yeah, that was the second one that they put in at town hall. The first was in the basement, so there's one on each of the 3 floors there. That's kind of ongoing. Energy Committee liaison, Carolyn, you happy?
I can't think of anything new that's
Okay.
happened.
And the solar panels are on the capped landfill, and they're not operational yet, or are they just about?
No, they're waiting for the town to establish clear title, so I think that's with the town attorney.
Okay.
Well, you mean
Do
there might
you
be
know
somebody out
anything
in
about the
Michigan who
solar
owns the land
panels
or
on this
something.
building?
I'm sorry?
Do you know anything about the solar panels on this building?
On this building?
Yeah,
Well, they've been here several years.
right, 10, I believe, and they're actually, there is a mention they're potentially up for replacement already, and I was just wondering why.
I haven't heard anything about that.
What,
I know that
what
we-
happens to wear out a solar panel?
I don't know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but 10 years seemed like a short, and I was just wondering what the criteria was, if they measure the output and at some decide, I don't know.
Our chair, Dick Elkin, recently took readings of I guess there are 3 different meters on these panels,
Okay,
so that we can keep track of the usage for the Mass Energy Insight database. But that's
Okay.
all that I know.
Good.
I mean, it's not like it has moving parts, is it? That, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out
Right.
what would go wrong.
They
Some-
degrade, they degrade
Do they?
over time, yeah.
What bits of
Is
them?
it the mica inside or
I
something?
don't know, but
Yeah.
that, we just put them up on our house and,
Uh-huh.
over time, you get less and less.
What'd they
from
tell
them.
you to expect for a lifetime of the,
I think the newer panels are longer lasting, so, at 20 years,
20
I think
years.
you're really
okay.
down to very
Sort of
little.
like a roof then, like a tile roof.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're applying for grants and things, I know you talked about that a little bit at recent
Yes,
meetings.
we found out we didn't get the first one that we applied for, the license plate grant.
Mhm. Oh, that's good.
And the grant that is being done for a number of towns on the Cape was put off until the spring deadline. That's done by the Cape Wide organization, which the name escapes me.
Cape Compact or something like that?
Sorry,
Cape Compact?
not Cape Light Compact.
Blue economy? The blue economy?
No.
It's okay, can I bring it next time?
So, we're figuring out what to do next.
Okay, minutes, we don't have those are from Christine, but we'll do them at the next meeting. And the treasury report is kind of a challenge. But we'll probably be getting that information at the next meeting too. They're still working with the two programs, and the recycling committee happens to have, I think, 5 different accounts. There's our regular budget line, which I think is like $100. Then there's the recycling gifts fund. There's grant part and recycling projects from long ago. Correspondence. Haven't gotten any mail. Certainly no letters. And can't think of any emails that came in recently. So I guess that's more or less it. Is there any future concerns you want to put for?
As far as Chris and you becoming permanent and me becoming an alternate, can we just go into town hall now?
It's
Or-
been done.
That's been done.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I
great.
went in and they said.
Because
it was
I went
taken
in
care of.
and they told me we needed a letter from the selectmen, and I know you had followed up on
Yeah.
that.
And then I did that, and I think
Okay,
they said it was
great.
fine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything-
they
Okay.
said it was
everything's
fine.
taken care of.
So, yeah. All right, I guess we could adjourn. That was a really short meeting, unless you want to. Yeah,
So,
Carrie.
a couple quick things. So the boat shrink wrap recycling program Cape Wide is gonna continue. So the locations likely will still stay the same, so Wellfleet will be able to use the town of Eastham. It's just any boat where it's, on Cape, stored on Cape. So, it can come out of a boat marina, it could be personal, resident, boatyard, whatever. It'll still be the same with the white boat shrink wrap because that has the most value, so no blue and no clear. So Hui is still anticipating on doing that. I have a meeting with Tanya Keeble of the Recolor Paints today, so hopefully we'll go into a 3rd year of latex paint recycling, which would be really excited. I'm sure you guys know that the town of Wellfleet participates in the processed glass aggregate. The first crush happened, supposedly it looks incredible. So I need to pop by there and see that. Ivor, the crusher, texted me. He was like, "Have you seen it? Have you seen it?" I was like, "Not yet," but I heard.
And that, just explain what that is for people that might be watching this for the first time. It's,
For processed glass aggregate, so it's recyclable glass that's crushed into a 3/8 minus for construction, highway, roadway, and drainage material. It can be used 100% in drainage material, and then about I think a 10% aggregate for other types of projects.
so it's all the bottles we bring to the transfer station, like the
Right.
glass jars, wine bottles, beer
pickle,
bottles if you're
mayonnaise,
not
beer
redeeming
bottles.
them.
Yep, all recyclable glass, so no tempered glass, no windshields, no mirrors, picture frame glass, things like that. None of that doesn't go in there. Just recyclable glass. And then let's see. Christmas light recycling.
Oh,
You
good.
guys
Oh,
participated
that's
last year. Jordana from AmeriCorps is going to take over where Kayla left off. So she will be in contact in the next few days. That's another conversation I'm having today after the paint conversation because she will be part of that.
Can I just ask
In a
something?
chat.
Because my daughter was here this weekend and we were doing the Christmas lights and one batch is dead. She said, well, that can go in the trash. I said, no, I don't think that should go in the trash. But then I thought, well, what do I do with a dead
Well, you
string
can put
of
them.
lights?
You can put them in the trash. So it's not dangerous to do that. Don't put it in your recycling bin because it tangles up in the
Right.
sorting equipment. But if it's collected separately, we take it to an iron scrap place
Right.
and they strip it, and then they get value for the iron, and then the plastic goes into the.
I see.
There's wire inside, the metal wire.
I see. So that's the bit that's found.
So it's stripped and scrapped. And last year it was Fiera Iron out of Hyannis, and it wound up in Freetown or Fairhaven. I can't remember, but anyway, they took it for free. So again, you have to remember services aren't free. People are volunteering, and
Yes.
people are allowing us to do this as part of the project. So those are the four big things that
That's
are kind of
great.
happening.
Yeah, that's something for the Instagram.
Yeah, so is that definite that they'll be doing that this year?
Yep. And so what I'll do is I'll share with everybody the
Yeah.
information so they can all post it.
Okay.
Usually
That would be
they
great,
have
yeah.
2 wheeled carts at the transfer station marked for the Christmas lights. in
Mike does it
particular.
regardless because their metal vendor will take it, but he just participated in the program so that we took more to Fiera.
Okay.
Because if we can get it in a clean stream with more, that's the value to him,
Right,
is to have that economy of scale.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
All right, if you could keep me posted on those things,
Yeah.
those would
Oh,
all be
yeah.
great for.
I definitely will. As soon as we have I don't mind people saying, stay tuned, this is happening, but we don't have the exact details and the community gets confused sometimes. So I like to make sure that the information we're putting out there is up to date and accurate so that we're not confusing anybody.
Yeah.
People want to do the right thing but don't want to get lost doing it. So those were my announcements.
Great.
Good.
Oh, and you guys did an excellent job with RDP. And again, Mike was featured in the Recycling Partnership magazine,
Oh, good.
or newsletter, I guess. So that
Is
was,
that something, you must have sent it to us. Or is it out, or?
yeah, I sent it to Mike because I said, did you see you're featured? So I nominated him. I nominated him with the town of Wellfleet,
Right.
and the transfer station. I gave him a synopsis of why Wellfleet deserved to be spotlighted, and the pictures, the one out of the newspaper where Mike is standing in front of the shadow box,
Right,
and it's a
okay.
really nice photo.
The one from the banner, you mean? Was it?
Yeah.
But it's
Okay,
a clearer
okay.
photo. But yes,
Okay.
that's a little bit clearer one. They couldn't use that one.
Right.
But he retook basically the same thing. He modeled for it and sent it in to me, and I sent it in, and so they featured him, which was really nice.
And can you send that to us too?
Sure.
Yeah.
Good. And
I can do that now since it's already out.
Okay.
anything else? Okay, motion to adjourn. It's, what time is it? 11:36. So that was Jane. Is there a second? Chris? All in favor? All right. So we're adjourned at 11:36.